Welcome to CryoSPARC version 4. Today, I'll give you a quick overview of the new release. Along with many software and algorithm additions, updates, and fixes, CryoSPARC version 4 features an all-new interface designed for performance and productivity. The new application features many changes, including improved navigation throughout the interface, integration of CryoSPARC Live into the main interface, meaning you can now seamlessly browse and view sessions without having to switch to another application. Redesigned interactive jobs that are simpler to use, provide more information, and work well on larger datasets. New views for browsing and filtering data. A tagging system for improved organization across your instance. An integrated 3D viewer to inspect volume outputs from all jobs. New ways to quickly create jobs, and much more, which we will cover in this video. The layout is similar to previous versions of CryoSPARC, with 5 key areas. The navigation bar is located on the left side of the screen. It contains links to the homepage, project browser, and session browser. It also includes buttons to open various management dialogs. At the top of the page, there are navigation controls used to navigate and switch between different view levels. Below the navigation is a large content area that will adapt based on the page that you're viewing. Every page has a centralized action bar with key elements such as filter controls. Below the content area is a footer designed to provide quick access to queued and active jobs. To the right of the screen is a sidebar with 3 tabs: Details, Builder, and Cart. The Details panel always displays what's most important depending on your URL and what you have selected. The Builder is where you can create a new job from a list of all jobs available in CryoSPARC. When you activate the Builder for a job, this tab also is where you can add inputs and edit parameters. The Cart is another method of creating jobs, which we will explore later on. You can collapse the sidebar to show more of the main content area by clicking on the collapse button or using the keyboard shortcut Command/. The first page you'll see after logging in is the home page. It displays an overview of your CryoSPARC instance with helpful modules such as a processing history heat map and charts to get a sense of what has been run recently. You can filter these modules to see information about only your jobs or jobs across all users within the instance. The homepage also includes additional modules featuring external CryoSPARC and community resources, such as links to tutorials on the CryoSPARC guide, trending posts on the CryoSPARC discussion forum, and the latest Empire and EMDB depositions. In the left-hand navigation below the home button, you'll find the entry point for the browse system in CryoSPARC. This is where you'll spend most of your time. It is where all your data is stored, organized, and processed. The first link is the Projects navigation button, which navigates to all projects in the CryoSPARC instance. Below that is the Sessions navigation button, which navigates to all live sessions in the instance. Let's navigate to the All Projects view. Projects are top-level organizational structures and serve as the primary container for processing data in CryoSPARC. They contain workspaces, used to process data in iterative workflows, are denoted as sessions for real-time data processing. Workspaces in turn contain jobs, the building blocks of data processing in CryoSPARC. Jobs are unique within a project, and all project data is contained in a directory on a shared file system, making it easy to archive or export them later on. The primary method of browsing projects is through the Cards view, which displays by default. Each project card contains key information useful for keeping track of who created it, when it was created, what type of data is processed in it, and what jobs were recently completed within it. Clicking on a project card will select it and display additional information in the Details panel. The Details panel is grouped into modules. The Sharing module makes it easy to add other CryoSPARC users to collaborate on that project. The Statistics panel provides a detailed list of the project's contents with clickable links to navigate to a specific view of interest. Project actions are available by clicking on the Actions button at the bottom of the Details panel or right-clicking on the project card itself. To create a new project, we will click on the green New Project button in the header. This will open up a panel above the sidebar where we can set a project title and specify the container directory. CryoSPARC will create a folder for the project within this directory specified. You can paste in a file path or click on the folder icon to open up the integrated file browser. We will also choose to create an initial workspace for processing data. Although jobs live within a project in the file system, they need to be linked to one or more workspace. Clicking Create will create both our new project and workspace and navigate us to the jobs view within that new workspace. This is the jobs view. The header shows that we are viewing workspace W1 in project P39. To navigate back up to the list of workspaces in this project, you can click on the X button next to the workspace name. To navigate back up to the list of all projects, click on the X button next to the project. Since our workspace is empty, CryoSPARC suggests we begin our processing journey by creating an import job to bring data into the workspace. Clicking on one of these buttons will create an import job. Another way of creating a new job within CryoSPARC is through the Job Builder tab within the sidebar. Clicking on the builder will display a list of all jobs you can create in CryoSPARC, grouped by category and searchable via the input box. You can hover over a particular job to learn more about what it does. We will be processing a subset of data from Empire Entry 10288, the CP1 GPCR. By clicking on the green Import Movies job, the job will be created and the Builder panel will be replaced with the active building job. Similar to previous versions of CryoSPARC, any job in building status can be activated in the Builder. This will make its inputs and parameters editable, available in the Builder panel until deactivated. To activate a building job, click on the Build button on the job card or press B on your keyboard while it is selected. To queue a job, click the Queue Job button at the bottom of the panel. You can choose to edit the title or description of a job at this point. As soon as the job is queued, you'll notice the job card comes to life and begins updating in real time. As the job begins to run, more information will become available directly on the card. With the job selected, the Details panel displays key information about that job, grouped into modules just like the project details. To view the full set of information a job produces, we can inspect it. You can do this by clicking on the View Job button on the sidebar, clicking on the header region of the job card, or pressing the spacebar key while that job is selected. This is the job dialog. It appears above whatever page you are viewing and is divided into a few sections. The header displays a breadcrumb-style navigation showing what project and workspace this job is contained in. You can click on these links to navigate to the relevant pages. Below the header is a set of tabs, each tab displaying a different aspect of the job. The default tab shown is the event log, which contains a real-time streaming log of the job's progress. Here, you will find detailed diagnostic outputs and plots that can be downloaded and shared. To the right of the sidebar is a panel displaying the job output groups, which are a set of outputs you can use to build other downstream jobs in CryoSPARC. To close the inspection dialog, click on the X button beside the sidebar or press the spacebar or escape key. You'll notice that we're right back where we left off viewing jobs within this workspace. Now that the import job has completed, we can see the card is updated with more information, including a preview of what the movies look like, as well as some key statistics anchored around the corners of the card. These are called job info tags, and as we will soon see, they are a powerful way of visualizing the results of jobs within a workspace right from the card's view. Let's continue the processing pipeline by feeding our imported movies into the patch motion job. To do this, we will open the Builder tab in the sidebar and start typing patch to filter the results. You can use the arrow keys to navigate up and down the list of jobs. Once the patch motion job is highlighted, press the Enter key to create it. Along with parameters, almost all jobs in CryoSPARC require a set of inputs to run. The patch motion job, for example, requires a set of exposures to process. We can use the output of the completed import movies job to feed into the patch motion job. To do this, make sure the patch motion job is active in the builder. This will make it available to edit in the Builder tab as we look at other jobs. Next, we will click on the Import Movies card. Press spacebar to inspect it and drag and drop the imported movies group into the exposures input of the patch motion job. Next, we will close the import movies job dialog. We are presented with the same queue dialog, this time with the choice of lanes to run on. Lanes are configured via the command line and tell CryoSPARC what compute resources are available to run jobs. Before waiting for the patch motion job to complete, we can continue straight through the processing pipeline and queue the next set of jobs. Rather than create a patch CTF estimation job from scratch, we can pre-populate it with the exposure outputs from patch motion correction before building it. To do this, we'll use the new job card functionality. To view a list of outputs for any job, hold the Shift key down or click on the output groups icon on the job card. Rather than drag and drop, we can click on the micrographs output to add it to the cart. The sidebar view will automatically switch to the cart view, where we can see the output group we selected. Below that is a list of jobs similar to the Job Builder tab. The key difference is that this list is automatically filtered to show only jobs that accept the outputs that I've added to the card. In this list, I can search for and click on Patch CTF Estimation to create the job. Just as before, the new job is activated in the builder. However, this time the inputs have automatically been added, so all I need to do is adjust the parameters and queue the job. CryoSPARC will wait for the patch motion correction job to run before starting the patch CTF estimation job. Manual curation of exposures is a critical step in the cryo-EM data processing pipeline. Often, you can obtain higher quality particle picks and therefore higher quality reconstructions by filtering out exposures that are damaged or otherwise contain unsuitable attributes. Next, we're going to create an exposure creation job. We've created jobs through the traditional job builder list and the job card, but there's another way of creating certain jobs even more quickly. That's why we call them quick actions, and they're accessible by right-clicking on any job card or clicking on the triple dots menu icon within the header of a job card. This menu displays a list of job actions that you can perform on a job, along with the section listing out jobs you can create with just one click. Right-clicking on the Patch CTF Estimation job presents several options, the first of which is Queue Exposure Curation. Clicking on this will not only create a new exposure creation job and connect it to the relevant inputs, but also queues it automatically. Once the Patch CTF Estimation job completes, the interactive job will start to run. When the exposure creation job is marked as waiting, it is ready to interact with. Upon clicking the spacebar to inspect the job, we are presented with an interactive view to browse and inspect exposure statistics, as well as set thresholds to filter out unwanted exposures. You can hover over the scatter plot to view a preview of exposures, and click on them to view additional diagnostic plots. Additionally, there is an integrated exposure viewer similar to the one in CryoSPARC Live, allowing to pan and zoom, adjust the low-pass filter, and take measurements. Let's filter the exposures based on their CTF fit resolution. To do this, adjust the threshold or enter a threshold in the input boxes. I'll set a minimum value of 3.5 and click Set Threshold. Clicking Done will end the interactive process and generate outputs. The event log for exposure creation generates a histogram for each attribute and logs what thresholds have been selected, making it available to reference later on. Let's continue to build the rest of the processing pipeline. You'll find that for most use cases, job quick actions and the job cart are suitable for creating common processing workflows quicker than that of the traditional job builder. While building jobs, the job card displays a list of custom parameters set. The right-click Job Action menu also allows for queuing jobs, along with a set of other common actions, such as cloning and linking. The workspace is now configured to produce a refined structure from a set of blob picks. All jobs are queued and will run one after the other. The two interactive jobs, Inspect Picks and Select 2D classes, will launch and wait for user input. Here's a look at the new Inspect Picks interactive job. Many navigation controls have been carried over from the exposure curation job, such as the sortable table of exposures and configurable scatter or histogram plot with exposure previews on hover. Along with adjusting the power score and the NCC threshold range, the exposure viewer has an adjustable particle diameter and extraction box size slider. You can toggle the display of either particles and extraction box, although keep in mind both are used for the purposes of visualization, as extracting particles from micrographs is handled by the Extract from Micrographs job type. The Select 2D classes allows for inspecting and selecting a subset of 2D classes to continue on the processing pipeline. You can use the sort controls to arrange the classes in a variety of ways and right-click on a class to view selection options. The selected 2D classes can be used as an input for the template picker with the goal of attaining higher quality picks that resemble our target more closely. To do this, we can navigate up to the Workspaces view, click on the green New Workspace button, and enter a title. The new workspace is empty, but rather than reprocess raw data, we can simply link existing jobs from the first workspace into the newly created one. To do this, we can use the quick switcher in the header to navigate from Workspace 2 to Workspace 1. We'll right-click and link the exposure curation job to W2 as well as the Select 2D classes job. After switching back to Workspace 2, both jobs will be visible. To get a better sense of the contextual workflow of this workspace, we can switch to the Jobs Tree view. This view shows job cards in a hierarchical format based on their inputs and outputs. Although we have linked to just 2 jobs, we can see their lineage up to the first import movies job. As with the cards view, you can select the jobs to view details and right-click them to access the Actions menu. We will create a template picker by selecting the exposure outputs from the Curation job and the selected templates output from the Select 2D job, both being added to the cart. From the cart, we can select Template Picker to create it. Just as with the Blob Picker workflow, we can build out the pipeline until a homogeneous reconstruction. Although the grouping of jobs into workspaces is helpful, there are some cases where it is beneficial to view all jobs in a project regardless of workspace. To do so, we can navigate up to the Workspaces view within our project. With no workspace selected, the project details panel is shown. The statistics module reports the total number of jobs in this project. Clicking on this button will navigate us to a view displaying all jobs across the project. While this view is powerful, it is often difficult to keep track of differences between processing approaches on the cards. This can be resolved with the new tagging feature in CryoSPARC version 4. To create a new tag, click the caret next to the New button and select New Tag. Here you can set a title, description, and color. Tags can be general, meaning that they can be applied to all types of data, or scoped to a particular type of data, such as a job. I'll create 2 new tags, one called Template Picks and one called Blob Picks. To apply tags, right-click on a card or edit the list of tags within the Details panel module. In this example, you can clearly distinguish between homogeneous reconstructions from the blob picks and from the template picks. You can now inspect a volume directly in CryoSPARC. To do so, open the Job dialog and click on the Volumes tab. Here, you can select a volume and adjust the threshold value accordingly. In addition to panning and zooming, you can toggle the animation of the volume and download the map to your device for use in other software. There are a few additional features added to the Job dialog in CryoSPARC version 4. On the Overview tab, there are options to download a PDF of the entire log of the job, including images and cover pages with details. This is useful for sharing and archiving purposes. Additionally, you can download a job report containing the log and various system diagnostics that can be used for debugging. The Metadata tab introduces a search function, making it easy to find specific information a job contains. Additionally, the Log subtab contains the standard out plain text log a job produces. You can quickly copy the command to obtain this job log via a terminal. In larger CryoSPARC instances with multiple users, it often becomes time-consuming to navigate to specific views and only display relevant data. With that in mind, CryoSPARC version 4 introduces an expandable sidebar on the left-hand side of the screen called the Quick Access panel. As the name suggests, the Quick Access panel provides easy access to your recently viewed projects, workspaces, sessions, and jobs, alongside a list of start items and tags. Simply click on any of the buttons to navigate to that page and pick up where you left off. Since it can be opened on any page, the Quick Access panel is an easy way of navigating around several pages of interest. You can toggle it by clicking on the button at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, or using the keyboard shortcut Command semicolon. When you navigate to a view from the tags on the Quick Access panel, the Browse control bar highlights, denoting a filter has been applied. You can click on the Filters button to open up the filter bar and further refine this view. The filter bar is accessible on every browse view and synchronizes with the web browser URL. This means you can easily bookmark the tab for reference or share it with another user so they may view the same data. To view a history of all completed, killed, or failed jobs, click on the Job History button in the Overflow menu within the navigation bar. This displays a table view of all jobs across the CryoSPARC instance and can be filtered even further. All browse views contain a download button in the right-hand side of the footer that produces a CSV of all data matching applied filters. Here's a look at all recently completed 3D refinement jobs. By pressing the Command key and clicking, you can multi-select jobs and press the spacebar key or the Compare Jobs button to view the selected jobs side by side. The differences in their parameters are shown. While multiple jobs are selected, you can choose to clone or delete them all. In addition, by selecting the start and end of a job chain, you can select the Clone Job Chain option to make a copy of all jobs within that chain. The Manage button in the navigation bar is available on all pages and opens up a dialog with several tabs. Here, you can manage queue and running jobs, view and edit tags, manage project and session data, inspect details about the CryoSPARC instance, view the status of backups and manage notifications. For power users that prefer to navigate via the keyboard, CryoSPARC incorporates a global spotlight command dialog. To toggle it, press Command K. With the spotlight, you can navigate across pages and sidebar tabs, as well as perform certain actions such as creating a new project. For example, you can use the spotlight to navigate to the homepage, navigate into a project by searching for the ID or title, navigate into a workspace, and open the job builder. From the job builder, you can search for and create a new job, all without touching the mouse. To learn more about CryoSPARC version 4, please visit guide.cryospark.com. There, you'll find an extensive overview of the application, data processing tutorials, videos, tips, description of methods, and case studies.